their parents and their teachers understand. We are building a brighter future. Kia ora.
Brendan Horan.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Rail is a critical part of New Zealand's...
Order, I apologise to the honourable member, but the previous debate is concluded. I want to hear from Brendan Horan. Brendan Horan.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Sir, rail is a critical part of New Zealand's transport infrastructure. Right now, its future is being compromised and undermined. And New Zealand First considers that there is a strong case for a public inquiry into the state of the rail network because of a long list of issues that need to be addressed. Considering that this is Rail Safety Week, let's first consider safety. Sir, New Zealand First has brought to the public's attention and to this House the rotting rail sleepers. And a lot of people don't really understand what that means. What's a rotten railway sleeper? Well, sir, sleepers were brought in from Peru. There are thousands of them. And the truth is, they do not know how many are really out there because they have workers coming into the yards, they've had them coming into the yards, they've had work outsourced. So you've had contractors going into the yards, grabbing sleepers and then going and trying to do maintenance. Yesterday, I spoke in the House and alerted the House about the safety issues involving sleepers that may be at many of the road crossings in New Zealand. But, sir, what does that mean? It means that if we have a fully laden train coming to a road crossing, and let's say that road is running parallel to the railway line, and those sleepers collapse, we will have a derailment. And we could have a catastrophic derailment if that happens in peak hour. And I can say to those people from Tauranga who are watching today, you only need to think about the Bay Fair roundabout and the roundabout that's a little bit further down near Bay Park. And there you have a kilometre, and in peak hour traffic, you could have hundreds of deaths. Sir, this needs to be investigated. Let's then look at some of the other issues and the locomotives. 20 brand new locomotives. Only one of them is actually working to its potential. The main distance between failure rate of those locomotives is 14,800 kilometres, whereas the 50-year-old locomotives that KiwiRail have, some of them go for 80,000 kilometres before they have to have that essential check. So we've got locomotives that don't work, and one of those 20 brand new locomotives hasn't been seen on the railway tracks. No, they've turned it into parts. They are using a brand new locomotive for parts. Then we take a look at the wagons, which are an absolute disaster, sir. These wagons were designed apparently by some KiwiRail people, and they have a bubble in them. Now, why they have the bubble is because when they put a container on it, it folds, the bubble lowers, and you have a flat platform, and then they use the locking levers and lock that container into place. But, sir, if you have light material within the container, they can't lock it because the bubble's still there. And what KiwiRail workers are having to do is to drive a large forklift on top of the container to squash it down so they can then lock it. I mean, this is unsafe. This is ridiculous. And it's quite simply a mistake in the design of these 500 railway wagons that were bought from China. It's ridiculous. And, sir, we're getting a lot of damage within KiwiRail because of this. And you have these locking mechanisms breaking, you've got brake failure, you've got bearings failing. All of these are very, very important safety issues. Sir, it's so bad that when they are doing maintenance on the locomotives, they have to leave the engine running, but they can't open the engine bay doors because they're extremely worried that they're going to have fans disintegrating. More safety worries. Let's also look, sir, at the job losses that we have. 181 KiwiRail workers are going to be made redundant by October. And this is part of a 3-year plan to get rid of 370 jobs. How can that be good for the economy? What happens to those families, sir? Those families who have been made redundant? Well, some of those workers will be able to go into the workforce, but others will end up going on welfare. Sir, the list of issues I've mentioned today, I've got a whole lot more, but they all add up to a compelling case for a full inquiry into the state of New Zealand's railways.
The Honourable Chris Tremaine.
Mr. Speaker,